This is our last episode of the season. We're going to take a little pause with Wholey Schmidt, regroup, and think about what season 4 looks like. I've loved the episodes we've done together, and they've taken off. My hope is that as we continue, because we get a conversation going in this community that's forming. What's resonated? What do they want to hear more of? What I hope people pull from this episode, and we've been just sort of storytelling about our own experience of like taking some time, and what we learned is there's value in all of it. And when you kind of mix it up, you will discover something new about yourself. So if you can't just pause and rest for the sake of rest or pause, do it for the fact that you'll learn something new.
I'm so afraid I'm going to run out of time, Zoe. Yeah, like time feels very precious and life feels very fragile to me most of the time.
And you think that's because of the cancer?
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else my age who worries as much as I do about running out of time.
Okay.
And so my fear of rest is, like, if I rest, then I'll miss something. I lost a month.
Yeah, like I'm trying to, what did you feel like you lost during that time? Like if you were to really like think about it.
Well, in real life, I didn't lose a thing, right? What was I going to do during that month? I don't know. It's not the what is, it's the fear of what might be, right?
Okay.
When you really sit with the what is, I'm like, well, look at all that I gained that month. I mean, I had to lean on people differently. Mm-hmm. I showed, I have this new friend in my life. I hate the word boyfriend.
Why?
Well, because he's not a boy. I mean, if he was a boy, I wouldn't be attracted to him. The fact that the thing I love most about him is he's such a man. Like, and I just the boyfriend when you're in your 50s.
I don't like the word like partner either, personally.
So I don't know, partner, lover. I don't know what word to use, but boyfriend just
we can come up with something new.
I feel like it devalues who he is and how I think of him.
Okay.
Like I dated a boy, I married one. It was awful.
What would you want to call him?
I don't know.
But special friend.
I allowed myself to let him see that vulnerable part of me. It was really scary. I was really afraid, like, if he sees me sick, he won't want to be with me because what he loves most and appreciates most are all those parts of me that are such the doer, the producer, like it's not true, but that was a fear, right?
Right. And so I think that's interesting too, though, because like you were genuine, like you had a staph infection, yet you still had that fear.
Zoe, I had cancer. I kept 4 classes. I told one person in my dorm. I had one professor who found out because he saw me at radiation because he was there with his wife who had breast cancer. I was an RA. I didn't tell anyone.
It actually stuns me.
Straight A's that quarter at Northwestern of all places. My junior year of all years.
I can't get over that. I could never. No. I could never imagine that.
So, I mean, a staph infection? My whole mantra in life is when something is hard, I always think, well, it's not cancer. That's the bar with which I measure all challenges.
I know, but it's also because you did the idea of that life happening while having cancer is, how do you measure up to that ever?
Yeah, it's
Sarah?
ridiculous.
It's so unrealistic. I mean, it's realistic because you did it, but it's unrealistic.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think, it's a good reminder to me of how drilled into me,
Totally. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I remember you saying it's just pneumonia.
I know. Well, that is how I thought about it.
I know, and I'm like, yeah, and
yeah, you did.
You're going to just be in the hospital with pneumonia.
I know. And I listened, and look, now I'm on the mend.
Look at you. So this is our last episode of the season. We're going to pause. We're going to take a little pause with Wholey Schmidt and regroup and think about what season 4 looks like. I had decided this would be our last episode before I had the surgery and before I knew I would get a pause. So it was.
I know. Wow. I didn't think about that.
Kind of serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this season has been very different than the other two. They've all been different, but I've really, really enjoyed the episodes that we've done together. It's only made me feel more connected to you.
Oh, same.
It's funny, you're about a mile from me right now. We can't
I
sit
know.
in my office because it would look
Yeah.
weird in the recording.
It's
So
okay.
you're home from school for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I know we were just together yesterday.
I know.
But this has been a great season. And selfishly,
Totally.
I've loved the episodes we've done together. And they've taken off. I mean,
They really have. I think we're just a good dynamic duo.
isn't that a funny thing that there's such a connection? And, we've said this before, but people would say, oh, well, there's 30 years between you. What could you possibly, well, you got a couple
Everything.
of everything, right?
Yeah. Literally.
My hope is that as we continue, because we're going to,
Yes.
is that we get a conversation going in this community that's forming. Because
Yeah.
I really want to hear from people what's resonated, what do they want to hear more of. I loved
Totally.
the question episode we did together because I loved knowing what was on your friends' minds.
That was really fun. And it's so like I was thinking about that too. I was like, I think it was really easy for them to come up with questions. Like I think everyone's just really curious.
Your friends are just curious people. Is that what you're saying?
But I'm also like thinking about like me, like the first time I met you, I remember being curious. Like if we really try, like we can care, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I was curious about you, well, I'm going to leave my kid with you. So there's that curiosity, but then I was like, what makes her tick? But that's kind of how I look at everybody. And then then we just found all these things that we had in common.
I agree. You're Ask Sarah Schmidt. Go follow her on TikTok. Community.
I think what I hope people pull from this episode, and we've been just sort of storytelling about our own experience of like taking some time and what we learned is, there's value in all of it,
Mm-hmm.
And when you kind of mix it up, like we were both forced to mix it up a little, you will discover something new about yourself.
Right.
So if you can't just pause and rest for the sake of rest or pause, do it for the fact that you'll learn something new. And that's okay. That's okay too. I wouldn't want to change anything really of the last month because I feel like the things I've learned, I really needed to learn.
Yeah.
And I feel so much more integrated as a human being. And I feel a little freer. I have a little more confidence that, if I needed to take another break, I'd be okay.
Yeah, totally.
The whole like, if I don't go to the gym, who am I? Well, I didn't throw anybody off a bridge. I didn't scream at kids. All the things that I used to joke, like I'm only here so I don't yell at my children. I don't kill anyone. It was okay. I was fine. I got back to it and, it's all good. They missed me, but they were fine too. It's important to not let our routines define us.
Yeah. I think it's really easy to. I feel like especially now, like with wellness culture, it's like a bragging point for people.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of it, but
I get it. I think it's really, really important to not let all that stuff define who we are.
yeah.
My grandmother, I don't think ever took a supplement.
And she was probably really healthy, right?
Well, I think she lived to be 89.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Yeah.
Both of my grandmothers. My mom takes some, but there she is, 83, crushing it 4 years after a massive heart attack and nearly dying from a rupture of her septum wall,
Mm-hmm.
She gets on her treadmill for 30 minutes a day and walks so slow. I could, I don't know that I could probably take a nap. She's crushing it,
Yeah.
We shouldn't let those things define us. We're so much more than that.
Totally.
So much more interesting. All right, what else is on your mind as we wrap this up?
I think I just very much resonate with your being. I think for me, like on my mind right now, especially with like the resting situation, was like also what is just being mean. I don't know. Like, I feel like everything needs to be very, again, productive. Like, how are we moving forward? What are we looking for? How am I going to up level, whatever it is?
Mhm.
And like, I look at myself from like a year ago to now.
Oh my gosh.
And especially with like going abroad and everything and learning how to like, I think the key for me to like peace and like being happy has been being okay with just being and not constantly like doing or looking for or whatever. Like, I was telling Ava the other day, I used to be a huge podcast person. Like, every single second of every day I'd be listening to like how to face rejection, like all the like the Jay Shetty, whatever, all the
Yeah.
self-improvement
Something
stuff.
that you're going to learn something and up level and some
Exactly.
little
Like, how am I going to become the best version of myself? And I realized that, yeah, like those tools are great, whatever, great people, great stories, great advice. But a lot of that, I think, for me was one, distraction, and two, like this idea of I need to be constantly doing and constantly fixing. Like, there wasn't ever this I'm okay with just being who I am right now kind of thing. So I feel like for me, the whole thing of like the pause was like, again, like allowing myself to rest and recover and be that version of myself without trying to like fix and do, So
Yeah.
I guess that's on my mind, was just the idea of like, I feel the best when I'm not forcing things,
I mean, ultimately, freedom is that ability to rest in just who we are, right? At our core.
Yeah.
That timeless, loving being that we were created as, right?
Like, free from all constraints.
Yeah.
It's like Buddhism, kind of, that whole idea of just like
Peter Crohn's message. It's that freedom from all constraints, limitation, limiting beliefs. It's the ability to be and to rest in that knowledge of I am who am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am loving awareness. That's Ram Dass,
Yes. Your
I
meditation.
mean, what am at my core, without any effort, without any action, who am I? And believing that, right?
Yeah.
And then moving from that place, right? If I am fundamentally loving awareness, if I am who am, right? That's like deep in the Old Testament, right? If I was made in the image and likeness, okay, I'm getting a little deep and spiritual. If I believe that, and then I choose to do from that place, wow, that's power now.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not compensatory. So maybe that's the biggest value in rest, is to tap into the who am I if I do nothing, if I am not thinking or doing and I am just being.
That's like a hard thing to like come by sometimes.
It's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard. We've been so programmed, which is where we started this whole conversation. We've been so programmed. But I think the important thing is like recognizing that's programming. It's not who we are, right?
Yeah.
We can choose it, but we don't have to.
Right.
It's useful at times, so it's great that you can tap into it, but it isn't who you are.
Yeah.
I want you to think about that as you're filling out applications for grad school.
It's been on my mind.
I know it is.
A lot of things are like,
and you're talking to somebody who did 2 master's degrees and a PhD, trying to find themselves. Well, we're 2 days from Thanksgiving. This will air a little bit after, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that it is just, my heart is full of gratitude for you.
Oh my God, same. I don't like that you get to compliment first, because then it's like when I say same, it's like,
well, then say it ahead of me.
Okay.
We're going to eat a lot of turkey and all kinds of things, but I love Thanksgiving because I love gratitude. It's my thing.
Yeah, it totally is your thing.
I should have worn my grateful necklace. I have my love necklace. Same thing. But that's how I love. That's my love language, that ability to be grateful and be generous.
Totally.
Oh, God, I love that about me.
Yeah.
And just so much gratitude for you.
Same. I have so much gratitude for you. And think a year ago, right? Was like when we really started the social media.
Yeah. You came over for Friendsgiving and you took you did like such a beautiful reel. And I was like, wait, why am I trying to do this myself?
That was like the first time I met Grace and Jess. And I think the first time I met like Callie too. Like
Oh, I
officially.
think,
Kind of.
yeah, that's when you became part of our family.
Yeah. Oh. I love that. So
Yeah.
grateful.
Well, there's always room at my table.
Oh, thanks.
All right, you. So here's to season 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great season. Thank you
Great.
for letting me be a part of it. I
Oh my
loved
God.
it.
Thank you for saying yes. And
Yeah.
can't wait for season 4.
I can't wait. It's going to be great. This is just the beginning.
We're just beginning. All right, you.